Greetings, fellow fright mongers. Once again, it is I, Lady J. Greetings, it is I, Lady Jade Elf Queen Ravenclaw. No, I'm sorry. You want underwoodandflinch.com. No, this is a ghost story by Mark Twain. Twain! No, that's Dickens. All right, then. Very well.
I took a large room far up Broadway in a huge old building whose upper stories had been wholly unoccupied for years. For the first time in my life, a superstitious dread came over me, and as I turned a dark angle of the stairway, an invisible cobweb swung its lazy woof in my face and clung there. I shuddered as one who had encountered a phantom. The fire burned low. I arose and undressed, moving on tiptoe about the room, doing stealthily what I had to do. I covered up in bed and lay listening to the rain and wind and the faint creaking of distant shutters till they lulled me to sleep. I slept how long I do not know. All at once I found myself awake and filled with a shuddering expectancy. All was still, all but my own heart. I could hear it beat. Presently, the bedclothes began to slip away slowly toward the foot of the bed till my breast was uncovered. I waited, listened, waited. I groaned. Ooh. And an answering groan came from the foot of the bed. Presently, I heard a heavy footstep in my room. The sound of an elephant, it seemed to me. It was not like anything human. I heard it approach the door, pass without moving bolt or lock, and wander away among the dismal corridors, straining the floors and joists till they creaked again as it passed. I said to myself,
"This is a dream, simply a hideous dream."
And then a comforting laugh relaxed my lips. And I was happy again. Then I heard a grating noise overhead, like the dragging of a heavy body across the floor. Then the throwing down of the body. I heard the clanking of chains faintly, and listened while the clanking grew nearer. Then I became conscious that I was not alone. I heard sighs and breathing about my bed, and mysterious whisperings. Then I saw pallid faces, dimly luminous, floating bodiless in the air, floating a moment, and then disappearing. The whispering ceased, and the voices and the sounds and a solemn stillness followed. I waited and listened. When everything was still once more, I heard that elephantine tread again. I noted its approach, nearer and nearer along the musty halls. The tread reached my very door, and paused. And presently I was conscious of a huge, cloudy presence before me. I watched it with fascinated eyes. Gradually its cloudy folds took shape. An arm appeared, then legs, then a body, and last a great sad face looked out of the vapor. Stripped of its filmy housings, naked, muscular, and comely, the majestic Cardiff giant loomed above me. All my misery vanished, for a child might know that no harm could come with that benign countenance. Never a lonely outcast was so glad to welcome company as I was to greet the friendly giant. I said,
"Why, is it nobody but you? Do you know I have been scared to death for the last 2 or 3 hours? I am most honestly glad to see you. Here, don't try to sit down in that."
But it was too late. Before I could stop him, the chair shivered and down he went.
Stop, you'll ruin everything."
Too late again. There was another crash and another chair was resolved into its original elements.
"Confound it! Haven't you got any judgment at all? Do you want to ruin all the furniture in the place? Here, you petrified fool. First you come lumbering about the place, bringing a legion of vagabond goblins along with you to worry me to death. Then, when I overlook the indelicacy of costume, you repay me by wrecking all the furniture. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You are big enough to know better.
Well, I will not break any more furniture. But what am I to do? I have not had a chance to sit down for a century.
And then tears came into his eyes.
Poor devil.
I said,
I should not have been so harsh with you. And you are an orphan too, no doubt. But sit down on the floor here. Nothing else can stand your weight. And besides, we cannot be sociable with you way up there above me.
So he sat down on the floor, threw my blanket over his shoulders, inverted my sitz bath on his head, helmet fashion, and made himself picturesque and comfortable. Then I noticed that he looked tired and spoke of it.
Tired?
He said,
Well, I should think so. I am the ghost of the Cardiff giant that lies across the street there in the museum. I can have no rest, no peace till they have given that poor body burial again. Now, what was the most natural thing for me to do to make men satisfy this wish? Terrify them into it. On this place where the body lay. So I haunted the museum night after night. I even got all the spirits to help me. But it did no good, for nobody ever came to the museum at midnight. Then it occurred to me to come over to haunt this place a little. Night after night, we have shivered around through these mildewed halls, dragging chains, groaning, whispering, tramping up and down the stairs till, to tell you the truth, I am almost worn out. But when I saw a light in your room tonight, I roused my energies again and went at it with a deal of the old freshness then. But I am tired out. Give me, I beseech you, give me some help.
In a burst of excitement, I exclaimed,
Why, you poor blundering old fossil. Have you had all your trouble for nothing? You have been haunting a plaster cast of yourself. The real Cardiff giant is in Albany. Confound it, don't you even know your own remains?
The petrified man rose slowly to his feet and said,
Honestly, is that true?
As true as I am sitting here?
He stood irresolute a moment and finally said,
Well, I never felt so absurd before. My child, if there was any charity left in your heart for a poor, friendless phantom like me, don't let this get out. Think how you would feel if you had made such an ass of yourself.
I heard his stately tramp die away, step by step down the stairs and out into the deserted street, and felt sorry that he was gone, poor fellow, and sorrier still that he had carried off my blanket and my bathtub.